Ha! Hello, people. Welcome to the Jazz Guitar Hour at UIS. The final edition, I believe, right? This was advertised that it was gonna end today, so it must end today. Thank you for being here. Hello, Matt, aka HX5DSAFQ Mystery. It's all about that mystery. Kind of tired today. Uh, my hurts hand. Just a little bit. Um, Good excuse to talk a little bit. Yeah, thanks for being here. Thank you, the University of Illinois Springfield, for having me this semester. It's been great to be in this room. Most of the time, I'm here with a mask. Now I'm here by myself, so I don't need a mask, or I don't. And I'm also vaccinated, but who knows? Let's not talk about that. Let's talk about. Let's go on musical tangents. How about that? What I just played here, it was literally a musical tangent. You know, when you're noodling. Towards the end, I found some logic here. Just thinking of the voice leading, of the bass note going down, and the top note going up. That was like a mental parameter. I mean, something like that happened. Maybe that would be a song. Makes me think of Antonio Carlos Jobim's song. See, tangents always arrive somewhere. They never. You can't be a tangent forever. Can it? I don't know. But this song called If You Never Come to Me, If You Never Came to Me, in English, something like that. But in Portuguese, the name of the song is Inútil Paisagem. Wow. Can't speak. Inútil Paisagem. Which translates into something like useless landscape. And it's something like that. Oops. Pra que tanto céu? Pra que tanto mar? That's all I know about the words. La da dee, la da dee da da da, da da dee da da, de da dee da, da dee da, da da da. All right. Is that chord legal? Yes, every chord is legal. Oh yeah, that reminds me of. Okay, so that song that I just played. If you never came to me, come or if you never came to me, something like that. Inútil paisagem em português, by the great Antônio Carlos Brasileiro Jobim. Um, but that thing that I played in the end here, this is an introduction played by Brazilian guitar player Nelson Veras, who lives in France for a long time. Check him out if you haven't. He plays a song, he recorded a song by Tony Horta called Francisca. Go check it out. It starts with something like that. But I thought about uh, it's the Jobim song, Inútil Paisagem. It's not a very long song, so you can learn it in a few minutes if you try. But I think like here I'm always on the verge of going of ranting about something because it's fun to rant, isn't it? But I was thinking about I recently revisited that song to play on a friend's recital, a master's recital, Brighton, Sear, Sire, something like that. Brighton, trombone player, U of I. Um, and we played a bunch of bossa novas and Jobim songs, and I relearned that song. Okay, cool. Why am I mentioning this? Because we played his recital a few weeks ago, and we played every song by ear. You know, no charts. Even his composition that he wrote a week before the recital, we played everything without charts. Why am I saying this? Because I find it funny um, at school, you know, when you have combos that we rehearse every week, twice a week, and for the entire semester. And these are people who are like they're not learning how to pick up their instruments. People who already play, you know, technically. But then they play the same songs, like say 7 songs for the entire semester. What is that? That's like 20 rehearsals, more. Gee, yeah, twice a week. Like you do the mathematics. But my point, and then in the end, towards the end of the semester, there's a recital, right? There's a performance, and everybody's reading. I just don't understand it. That's all. Um, and nothing against reading music. Reading music is fantastic. Makes me think of Ron Carter, bass player, who just had a birthday, turned 84 yesterday. So happy birthday, Ron Carter. Because he's a mystery. Because it's hard to understand for me, who I'm far away from him. But how he's like, he does things that you wouldn't expect for a man of his caliber. For example, I'm trying to say that he's like very active in social media, like on Facebook. I think he has people who do his things, his posts, you know. But I remember he did one about reading. Like he just saying that there's nothing that you should be reading. There's nothing wrong with that. Uh, but I mean, but not when you're rehearsing the same tunes for an entire semester, twice a week. That's all. You guys have anything? Any questions? Any suggestions of topics? It's your last chance before we go on vacation. I don't know. Maybe we'll come back. I'll see what's happening here at the university. I don't know what happens here over the break. It's my first semester here, but maybe we'll keep something going over the summer as well. Summertime and a living is easy, but not really. Anybody recognize that song that I just played? That has I played because of the title is very interesting. It's not a very. It's by an extremely popular composer, but this song particularly is not played very often. So Frank, what's happening, Frank? Um, Thanks for the reminder to memorize. I had clinicians at Jassport to tell us paper is your enemy. Don't think they meant my Charlie Parker on the books. Yeah, interesting. Do you have any thoughts on using play along recordings like Abersodes? Oh man, those I love those topics. I could go on and on. I've heard a Bill Evans version of it. Oh, you're right, Matt. Yeah, killer. That's Bill Evans recorded that song on the Bill Evans trio, and also one album that I love, Bill Evans and Cannibal Adderley. It's called Know What I Mean, the name of the album. But the song is called Who Cares? Isn't it a great title? Oh man, I'm gonna open every show with that. Who cares? But let's, Frank, addressing your, yeah, just the reminder to Chip Stevens, who I quote all the time. He had a good one. He said like paper, and then he like you flip the sound. Paper sounds like paper. You know. That's the thing. I'm kind of like I think like that. Just the Ron Carter thing on Facebook. You know. He made a really strong point towards reading. How reading you should be reading and like. But whatever. You see the videos of him playing. Like yeah, 90% of the stuff that you see him playing even like with Miles, they're playing standards and really stretching it out. So there's no reason for reading. But I don't know. I think it's an interesting topic. Um, but yeah, I mean, what really upsets me though is like songs, and who cares if it upsets me, right? But I'm just saying that is when people play the same songs over and over again and they're still reading. I think to me, what it seems like is that they're trying to distance themselves from the tune, if you know what I'm saying. Um, why would you like? Why not learn it? Why not play by? Then you can transpose it. Then you can do other. You can do reharmonizations. You can be free with the song if you know it, and not to dismiss the ability to be able to read. It's important as well, to play other people's music. You're not going to be learn. Oh, you could like learn by recordings, right? But reading is also important. Cheers. But Matt, you had a question. Oh, just to close up on the reading thing topic, the iReal Pro. That's uh, I find it fascinating how I used to host a jam session at the Iron Post for 3 years. The thing is, the phenomenon that happened when the iReal Pro became popular. I can assure, like, I don't think I saw one time a kid that went to play in the jam session. It never after iReal Pro became popular. Bear with me. Uh, Nobody ever said I don't know the tune. If you called the weird, like if you called "Who Cares" by Gershon, tune maybe the kid never heard, and they would say yes, and they will pull up the phone, which I think it's pretty horrible attitude if you think about it. You know, like, and the point is, if they like know how to read, um, if they have vocabulary, whatever. I don't care if it sounds good. The problem is, like people when someone would call a tune, and then everybody would say sure, and everybody would pull up their phones, and everybody would play horribly. I was gonna curse. I can't curse here. This is great to have to be on UIS, so I have to also train myself to speak politely. uh, but isn't it strange? Like one thing that even I mean, probably in the 70s that happened way more often, but I got to see in jam sessions situations in which people would call tunes, and then it happened to myself many times. Like, oh, I don't know that tune. Well, let's play whatever. Let's play. It could happen to you, and I didn't know at the time. And I'm like, took a note. Some you could write it out, but maybe even a mental note, like just like, oh, I don't know that tune, and people call that tune. Therefore, I'm gonna learn it. And then next time someone calls, I'll play the hell out of it. You know, and I think that's much more better to speaking properly English. Just say you don't know the tune and learn it, versus just playing, putting your phone in front of you and sounding horrible. Yeah, I hate the iReal book. I call it Unreal Pro. I said this before here. This is not a deja vu. Uh, Good. Okay, but Matt, you asked about playing along. I mean, I'm not a fan of play-alongs. Like, they could be used. Maybe it's kind of like drugs. If you use it the right way. I'm talking about, could be prescription drugs, could be anything, could be alcohol, could be, depending on how you use it. It could be broccoli. I don't know. If you eat too much broccoli, that could be unhealthy as well. But point being, there is a way to use play-alongs effectively. Yes, they can be helpful. Yes, but you just have to be careful, especially with the iReal type of play-along that sounds horrible, and it's the same thing, like the ding 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 ding. The Abersode is kind of cool that you play with real players. Uh, but the problem is that it's the same recording. You play over, like, they don't interact with you. But it's useful to, wow, this is great. Like, how then in the end you might be wondering, like, I'm wondering what's my opinion. So I'm not a fan of playing alongs, but they can be helpful when you're learning a new tune and you want to be able to play over the changes. I'm I mean, not, I should say learning, because I've kind of learned it before, but I never really earned it. Earned it. Countdown by Coltrane. I talked about a few last week, maybe. So using a little play along, I guess it's all right. Just be careful. One thing that I highly recommend, that I think it's much better than play along, is to record yourself. In your case, Frank, if you play the saxophone, I hope that you play a little bit of piano and or guitar as well, or a lot of both. Who knows? But just record yourself playing the tune. Playing the changes, and then you record the whole thing. And let's say record it for 5 minutes. And then you improvise over the thing that you recorded. I think this is very effective. Um, and the thing is, if it's really bad, if the recording is like, oh, I can't play over this, then bingo, you need to work on your comping as well. So record yourself, better than play along. Sorry, Abersode. Maybe if Abersode wants to hire me and pay me, then I'll say that it's the best thing ever. Uh, Great. So Frank said something else here. They slammed Abersode. They who? Uh, oh, you said the clinic, right? Yeah, that you're talking about. Claimed sidemen to dumb down their comping. Pretty useful to me though, regardless. Yeah, Frank, I think we will, like, I touched upon those subjects. Um, yeah, I mean, play with people. I mean, especially like COVID. Now COVID is an excuse for everything, and I mean, it is a real one. Like, because that's one thing that I always advocate for my students. Um, Before COVID, is like, get together and play. Why aren't you getting together and playing? That's what you should be doing. That's how you get better. Maybe Um, After the pandemic is over, then which is, I guess, kind of almost over. I don't know. Maybe I can go back to advocate that, but that seems pretty logical to me. That if you get together with your friends and play, uh, just for fun, but also work on like get a group of people get together and like make a list of tunes that you can play together. Alone together. That's a good tune. And play some. I'm talking too much, which is good. Let it out of your chest. All right, that was Alone Together to force me to stop talking. Playing some weird chords. This ending here, just a bunch of triads. I didn't play that, but could have. See, this is means freedom. If you have a bass pedal, and then you play a bunch of triads, it always works, except when it doesn't. Uh, yeah, I was gonna say something about. Oh yeah, about the play along thing though. There's one teacher who I really love and admire, a fantastic, ridiculous player, wonderful trumpet player, Tito Carrillo, and he uses play alongs with his students sometimes, and so that's the thing. I want to write a book about how how you can make a point about anything, but I can talk about music more specifically. But like those topics that are controversial, maybe the title of the book is controversial topics, because if you want to make a point about like reading, like I kind of tend to be towards my more like, oh, you should learn the tunes and reading is not important. But you can absolutely make a very strong point saying the exact opposite. So and play alongs exactly the same thing. Like I if I had to vote, are you play along yes or no? My vote is no. But there are it's very and the wonderful thing about it as well about opinions in life as human beings is that you can find. I just mentioned Ron Carter. Who am I like to say anything about reading when Ron Carter says you should be reading? And at the same time you can find lots of players. I'm not going to say too many names, but it's very easy to find many people who are like, you should be reading all the time, don't worry about memorizing. There are masters who have said that, and there are also masters of the same caliber who have said exactly the opposite. So isn't it beautiful? Isn't it weird? Isn't she lovely? Good one. Okay, isn't she lovely? Uh, Stevie Wonder, in case you didn't know. Let me educate you on American music. Um, I think he plays in the key of, isn't it? I think it's here, E major, but starts on the relative minor, however you want to call it. Uh, but I ended with Happy Birthday. I mentioned Ron Carter, so if Ron Carter is watching, Happy Birthday, Ron Carter. I played kind of in the style of a guitar player that I think about all the time, that I really one of my favorite players ever. One of those that I have my huge Jim Hall moments in which like all I want to hear is Jim Hall. And then I kind of stop for a little bit and then I go back to it and I'm like, why did you stop? So I'm doing the same thing with Keith Jarrett Trio now. Just listen to a lot of Keith Jarrett Trio and oh my god, this is like it gets better and better and better. Uh, but Jim Hall, this type of things, leaving the open strings, like whatever, even if it's I don't know, who are you? Not like the minor, major seven, or you can hear him really stretch out on excuse moi. The latest that I heard that I'm in love with, it's an album of Jim Hall duo with Bob Brookmeyer. It's live at the North Sea Festival. Which year? I think it's 1979. I'm pretty sure. Check that out. It's just the two of them, and when Jim Hall, I mean, comping ridiculous, and the interaction with Bob Brookmeyer, like phenomenal. And then when he's by himself, you wonder what is he gonna do, and just beautiful ideas after beautiful ideas. Jim Hall died, I think it was 2000, and it's gotta be 2013 because I was in Brazil. And I remember it was the first really, I mean, I've been listening to jazz since whatever, 2003, 4. But, and more heavily a little later, like toward maybe, I don't know, 2009, I was lost on it. But So, but Jim Hall is the first jazz musician who, when he passed away, that was like it really affected me. I remember I was playing a gig in Uberlândia, next to my hometown, and we were warming up, meaning drinking a lot at those times back in the days. Now I'm drinking a lot of water only. But we're just hanging out before this gig with the drummer who plays with Hermeto Pascoal, named Márcio Bahia, really phenomenal drummer. And yeah, and then we heard that Jim Hall had died. It was the first like jazz musician that passed away that really affected me. Even though I didn't know him, but I feel like I know him through the recordings, and he's still around. Um, cool. What else is going on? We got a few more minutes. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching this in the present or in the future. These are going to be available on the UIS music website. Feel free to share with your friends, share with your enemies. You know, you can contact me for gigs, for lessons, if you want to have questions, you know, anything about UIS, I can direct you to the right people who will know how to answer anything you need to know. And yeah, drink some water and play maybe 1 or 7 more and get out of here. right, salute to Bill Evans, and I'm thinking Jim Hall, and happy birthday Ron Carter, who both played recorded duos with Jim Hall, right? All right, guys, thank you very much, guys, girls, everybody. I will see you somewhere, somehow. You can check out if you want to follow. I have been doing a trio thing almost every Friday. We did 20 episodes so far. It's called The House Trio. If you want to check that out. Uh, yeah, the last one was kind of fancy. It was here from UIS, from the Performance Center. Um, and it's also uploaded to my YouTube channel and to the UIS Music YouTube channel. So, yeah, thanks for your company. I'm gonna get out of here because I'm going to my friend Bill Panicki is opening he's a lawyer, but he's gonna make like an arts thing, a music gathering thing on Wednesdays. Um, and I'm gonna check that out to see maybe there will be another music venue in Springfield. I don't know. Let's give it a try. Thank you very much. Maybe I'll be back here, maybe not, and see you later.